All right, it is now time for the one and only Ben Stowe. Now, a lot of you have seen Ben Stowe out at NAMM. He was the eye candy in those NLFX Pro videos. Some of you have seen him at the bowling show, Mobile Beat, DJ Expo. That's right, Ben Stowe, the man, the world traveler, is here tonight. Good evening, Ben.
Hey, John.
It's time to talk about some of our favorite stuff, which is gear.
Yes, and of course, as the graphic cleverly alludes to, it's NAMM gear.
It's NAMM gear. And a Jedi somehow, a Jedi.
You know, again, I say it every week now that, because Jimmy never fails to disappoint. The highlight of the show for me is the graphics. I just, I see the graphic, I'm like, well, that's the show.
Jimmy's having fun with his graphics, Alan. He's like, oh, what can I do for next week? I mean, we'll just have to start, letting him come up with a graphic, and we'll just base a show around whatever the graphic happens to be.
I'm good for that. It won't be. I'm good for that.
Yeah, especially if it's Star Wars related. I think we could carry on a conversation without a problem.
I'll be all right if we do that. Yeah. So once again, you've tasked me with finding my top 10 from NAMM. There are years, there's a lot of great things that come out, and there are other years where it seems like nothing comes out. Even on those years, it's hard to pick 10 things. And so I didn't. I picked more than 10 as usual. But I did.
I'm not going to say anything, but I've got 25 pictures loaded up here, gang. Just saying.
Well, some of them are of the same thing. Some of them are different angles and things. I tried to, obviously it would have been great if we could have shot video, but we start booking appointments for the NAMM show in September. And by the time the NAMM show rolls around, my schedule is just absolute, I think for a lot of people, NAMM is a lot of fun, and I do enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm literally getting up every day, starting to respond to emails at 5 a.m. and then I'm in meetings by 7 a.m. and I go until 11 p.m. Sometimes 2 or 3 dinner meetings at a night. So I apologize that I wasn't able to shoot live video at NAMM with you, John, but I got some pictures. So
you do. And for those of you who are listening to Ben talk about the schedule and thinking, yeah, right, that's not how it goes. I roomed with him once at NAMM. This is the schedule. The only thing he didn't mention to you is that when he gets back to the room at 12, 1 o'clock, Ben gets kind of chatty sometimes at that time of the night.
Well, I'm just so happy to not be in a meeting.
Yes, we covered all the bases. We solved world problems.
Yes, we did. That was a lot of fun. That was the one year that you and I roomed together was a highlight. In fact, we were talking about it this year. I think the rest of my coworkers from NLFX, we were kind of wishing I was rooming with you again. Anyway, so I started thinking about the scale of NAMM because people ask questions, and some DJs get passes and they come, and that's not really what NAMM is for, but I think it's great when they do because you got another set of eyes and ears out there looking at things. Obviously, they can kind of zero in on their particular areas of interest, but the scale of the show is so big. So if you've been to Mobile Beat or DJ Expo, you've seen nothing. There's no way to explain the difference from that to NAMM, but I'll try to do it by the numbers here. Attendance at Mobile Beat is probably somewhere between 800 and 1,300 people, depending on who you ask. Attendance at NAMM last year was 99,300, and I'm told this year it topped 100,000. Wow. Okay, so never mind. That's the attendees. So then I started thinking about why it's so difficult for us to meet all of our industry partners and why it's so difficult to go find these 10 items. It's not that there's a shortage of 10. There's an abundance of 10, but you have to try to, and for me, I try to give preference to something that's new, and not just there. Anyway, so I looked this up. I've got my statistics here.
Oh.
I don't have this year's count, but in last year, there were 1,976 booths or manufacturers. Now, the important thing to note about that is many of these manufacturers, there's an overwhelming amount of consolidation in the industry.
There is.
Many of these represent multiple brands. For example, Harman represents 10 brands. So it's not that there's 1,976 brands there. It's 1,976 companies there, which represents exponentially more brands. So now you see why we start scheduling appointments in September for a show in January.
For sure. And just to give you guys an idea, again, let's go to DJ Expo, and I think Mobile Beat DJ Expo, you will have somewhere around 80 to maybe 100 booths at the show.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty. At NAMM, you will have
at Mobile Beat. It's far less than that. Even,
yeah, exactly. They'll be somewhere less than that. But if you're at NAMM, there are that many or more that will just sell you pieces of wood to build your own guitar.
Oh yeah, no question.
Maybe more, maybe twice that number. That's all they're there for. They're just here. Look at this nice piece of wood. And it's like, ooh, that's a nice piece of wood.
You know, I didn't make it to the basement this year, and I haven't now, I think, for a couple of years. But there is, if you're a new manufacturer and you want to get into NAMM, there's basically the basement is where you come in. And maybe your next best shot is, you know, a hotel across the street or upstairs. I don't know. But that's where you see the really obscure new stuff, the creative stuff. And generally what happens with those brands, if they're ever going to see the light of day, they get bought by somebody, they get acquired, their technology gets integrated. So it's a really cool glimpse into the Ghost of Christmas future. But I didn't make it to the basement. So what I did do is pick out 10 items with a few honorable mentions that I think are some of the coolest things that were shown at NAMM that are real and shipping and are, you know, relevant to our viewers.
Is everything shipping on your list? Or
I don't know if everything is shipping right.
I think they're close.
Minute. Yeah, but everything is going to be shipping, and it's from a manufacturer that, you know, is going to make sure that happens.
And that's a great point, that it is going to happen. Where some of the things that we showed you, some of those little Instagram videos that you guys saw, and they'll be coming up on YouTube, there are things that are from some manufacturers that we all know and love, but sometimes they're putting things out there that they're like, maybe, should we? Huh? Well, let's throw it up there and see what happens. Let's see if people come up and, you know, or people like, oh my God, I don't know how I lived without that piece.
That happens all the time. It's a great opportunity to gauge interest. It becomes the world's largest focus group where they'll create a chassis that represents the concept of an item, and they'll just kind of put it out there and say, well, let's see if, you know, if enough people ask for it, maybe we'll make it.
And a great example of that is basically anytime you see us doing a video and the item is under glass, there's one of two reasons for it. One, it's a prototype and it doesn't function properly because it's a prototype, and as Ben said, it's the chassis. The second one is it's the only one, and the guys played with it last week and they broke it.
Yep.
I mean, that's basically it. Otherwise, they encourage to, and one of the pictures we're going to show here in a little bit, when I was there, they were like, play, go, do, touch, da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, is this your only one that you have set up? Yeah, go ahead, have some fun with it. So they want you to touch and feel, especially in our world, so we can talk about it.
Right. Well, and by the way, this is very important. These are in no particular order. I just got back late last night, and so I went through today, and it may have been in the order that I saw them at the show. I don't remember how they got in this order. So if you're trying to look for some hidden message about Ben's level of preference, it's not there. If you're a manufacturer that is a subscriber or is a sponsor of John, don't get all, you know, hurt in the backside because you got listed 7th or 8th or whatever. It wasn't like that. Just anyway, keep buying ads from John. So you're welcome, John.
Thank you.
So anyway, they're in no particular order. I did put my honorable mentions at the end.
Good.
And you know, one of the things, I started out with about 20 items on my list, and then I try to whittle it down to 10. And you know, this is again just sort of what I was feeling on the flight home, kind of where my heart was at that moment. And I did take one item off finally because I knew you just wouldn't let me have it on the show. But maybe you'll indulge me if I mention it. You'll just accommodate, and we'll treat it as yet another honorable mention because it's really not DJ related, but it was the coolest thing I saw at the show. So, and you probably know what it is already, but maybe not. No reaction. He's reading comments.
I'm comments. Yep.
Yeah. He's paying attention to the people that matter.
Yep. Well, you were talking about the one item and such, and I figured, well, you're going to eventually tell me, or you're not.
I'm not not yet, not yet. What do we have for comments before we jump into this top 10? We got anything good? We can, we got to spice this up a little bit. So,
you're just somebody asked about the T-shirt. We finally got the DJ and TV Insider T-shirts printed up after months of bouncing back and forth on those. The monogrammed shirts, for those who are getting those, gig gloves should have been out. Those were already all sent out. So if you haven't gotten gig gloves that were supposed to be sent out, you'll have to message me back on that one. But the T-shirts are going to be going starting tomorrow. Gig gloves. I talked to Danny at the show, and he said they all.
I didn't get any.
So
see my naked hands, John. I didn't get any.
I have my demo ones, but I'll tell you the ones that they've got. He had a brand new one, and we're going to do a shameless plug for them. They've got a new one that's blue. That's a lined one for you and I, Ben.
Oh, okay. All right.
Compared to what the ones that are made for those California people.
Okay, I'm rigging again on Wednesday, so could use.
We'll need to. You could be like you remember the Palmolive with the Palmolive gloves?
I could be like a hand model for gig gloves.
I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? Okay, tangent time. There we went.
These are working man's hands. On working man's hands. All right. So
is that a country song? Working man's hands.
It should be.
It should be. It could be.
I'm a hard working man
with working man hands.
Now you see why I stay behind the mixing board, right? So,
yeah, exactly. That's why we're not paid to sing.
I was introduced to a couple people at the show. People brought people to meet with me or whatever, and they said, "Oh, this guy here, Ben, he was on The Voice. He was a contestant on The Voice." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Well, nice to meet you. And, good job. Congratulations. Whatever. Good luck. Whatever. And the one gentleman, he said, he goes, "Oh, do you sing?" I said, "No, listen, let me explain. If they put a gun to my head and said, sing or we shoot, I would say, let's not drag this out. Let's not protract the inevitable. Just don't humiliate me before you kill me. Just shoot, So, no, I don't.
You could extract a little revenge, pre-incident revenge with the.
Yeah, you ever heard of cat strangling contest?
Well, you can do it on Tuesday night with Ben Stowe. It'll be awesome, man. Okay. Where do we start?
Item number one, and this again in no particular order. Although this is very cool. So I don't know if we're starting from best to worst or worst to best, but we're not, right? It's not ranked. It's just in the order I happen to get them written down. But it's a great one to kick off with here. It's the new SC5000 from Denon DJ.
Okay, I'm going to pop that picture up, and you and I are still in the bottom corner.
All right.
We have just the controller picture up.
Okay, that's the shot from NAMM showing their new turntable, which is very cool. Also, by the way, doesn't get an official mention, but their new turntable, right on the money. And then their new SC5000, media controller, and it's a whole new ecosystem, really. So, actually, go ahead and pop the other picture up, and I've got some specs that I've written down here. But pop up that other picture, you'll see kind of a little layout there. Mm-hmm. I again, with 2,000 manufacturers and all that, I wrote these down here. So
actually, we need to introduce this properly. This is the Denon DJ Prime series.
There you have it. Yes. Not to be confused with the Autobot semi, Optimus Prime's a distant cousin, Anyway, a 7-inch HD display with multi-touch gestures, 24-bit 96K digital audio outputs. We should do a show sometime on bit depth and resolution, but not today. But that'd be a good one. We could talk about like the Nyquist theorem and why 96K is, but not today. All right. So dual layer playback with individual audio outputs, plays uncompressed audio, which I'm a big fan of. We don't have those artifacts from compression. As I like to say, it plays AFLAC, ALAC, FLAC, and WAVE. ALAC, FLAC. Hey, you wanted more jokes in the show? You got more jokes in the show. Are you happy now?
I am. Pitch is on the right, yes.
It's got a It's got 8 multifunction trigger pads, cues, loops, slices, and rolls. It has a really nice jog wheel, by the way. The feel of that thing was really fantastic. 8-inch metal jog wheel with an HD central display, so you could make it look like like the center of a record, or some of the graphic or your own, or whatever suits your fancy, I guess. Yep. And the color around the jog wheel, just like on the turntable, is RGB mixable. And then 3 USB and an SD input for music playback. And it has a LAN output, a local area network, for up to 4 players. So this, I think, is a game changer. This is going to, I think, the next generation of how we change how we do our jobs.
The picture I've got up right now is the shot from the room that you guys took.
Oh, okay, cool.
And this was basically the extent of what Denon had in the room.
That was it. Yeah, that was literally it.
Invite only. They had this set up. Ben was going through and showing us and walking through it, and this was one of the items that they basically, that's all they had there. Go ahead, play with it, have some fun. This was that. This is their Prime series now, which consists of the turntables, the media controller, and the mixer, which I want to show a picture of that, where all 5 devices are side by side.
Sidebar, did you see the Headrush pedal emulator over in the corner of the room?
No, I did not, because I came in, got this, and then they had meetings going on.
Guitar players will love that. So that didn't make my list, but it would have if we were a guitar show. So, all right, next item on my list, unless we're
the only thing I wanted to add is that the touch sensitive, that 7-inch touch sensitive screen on that was incredibly accurate and incredibly quick. There was no lag, latency whatsoever as he was going through. So he was able to use that and move songs. There's a touchpad, a keyboard that pops up, like your cell phone kind of a thing, where you could type in songs and search for things, and then layering with just one player, able to layer tracks over each other, and the smart grid capability of this. This is technology-wise the next generation of gear. And Pioneer has some things that are similar to, but this, it's quite cool, especially when you have someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, they were telling me how long they had spent developing this and developing their own software, and not having outsourced any of that. And that gives them a lot of control over over the ecosystem, and I think that's very, very cool. So
yeah,
I think this will definitely take off for them. Next item from our friends in Germany. Koenig and Meyer stands, K&M stands.
Okay, just hang on a sec. I got to try to find that picture.
Okay, while you do, I will tell you it is a new, they call it a lighting stand.
Hey, there's a woman in this picture.
Yes, there is.
Do we know her?
I do.
Okay.
This is they call us a lighting stand, but they had a bass and pole system. I see this as a really viable alternative to something like the traditional theatrical Altman bass. The bass is lighter, has rubber feet, won't scratch floors, has a handle slot, yet is still very solid. The pole threads into the bass and is very, very solid. Goes up to just a little under 8 feet tall. This, I think, is a excellent option for mounting projectors or ellipsoidals, gobo, projection units, that sort of thing. Pin spots, anything else you need to put out in the middle of the room where you want a very minimal footprint. And there are shorter models available if you want to just use them as a very, very minimalist speaker stand. very
cool.
Yes. So the fact the base plate weighs 29 pounds. So 29.736 to be precise.
But this lady has no problem picking it up, hauling it around.
No, and
she's pretty awesome.
She is, and since you're desperate to unmask her here.
Well, goodness gracious, you sent me 2 pictures of her, so how can I not?
That is my wife, who came to her very first NAMM show ever, and I think she left with a greater understanding for why I have such a hard time at the show. There are a few things I wanted to buy myself. one of which we'll see later. But something that should be noted here, John, is my friends remember that she recently broke her arm.
Oh,
And so not only is she lifting that base plate without any trouble, she's doing it after having recently broke her arm.
I did not know that.
And believe me, her arm is still sore. So
Mm.
anyway, it's 29-pound base, but it was, I think would be excellent. And if you need a little bit more, you could throw a little sandbag on there. Global Trust makes a great little black 25-pound sandbag. You could toss a couple of those on the bottom. You'd really never see them. And that would make that, exponentially more tip resistant. But I was just very impressed with it right out of the box.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So you got, and you got the picture showing her height and the height of the pole.
Yeah.
And then
we've looked at both pictures. We've been bouncing back and forth.
I was busy reading. So
yeah, you be the.
Plus, I can't see them. All right. Next item on my list was from Chauvet. It is a recently new item, the EVE 50Z, and it comes in both white and black, which the 100 did not. And some cool features about this. One is it has the DeFi USB slot on it. So you can plug in the DeFi USB and make the device wireless DMX. It has PowerCon compatible ins and outs. So they lock in, which is nice. And of course you have power out. Flicker-free operation suitable for on-camera use. I think the PWM rate was 1.2, but I didn't write that down. It doesn't matter. It's flicker-free anyway. Includes holders for glass and steel gobos and a gel frame. So you can get your custom gobos from the good fine folks at NLFX and work just great in this thing.
Nice.
It's a D-size gobo, which of course all you have to do is tell us what fixture it's for, and we'll take care of the size and making sure the image fits the inside and outside diameter and all that. Zoomable from 20 to 39 degrees, weighs only 9 pounds, and the color temp is about 3,500 kelvins. So kind of a nice warm. In fact, if you have got the picture there with the 50 and the 100 side by side, you can see the output relatively.
Now the 50's on the left?
I
believe the way it's labeled is EVE 50 versus 100. Left
yes,
would be 50.
Yes, the 50 was on the left. I just had to think a minute from the booth, but yeah, the 50 was on the left.
So there we are. Cool.
Yes. Now, the next item, if you didn't see Katie's videos from NAMM, you need to watch those. She did a bunch of them. That girl worked her butt off. Just kept a worse schedule than me, I think, because she had to answer all the questions from her videos on top of that.
Oh, for sure, yes.
I don't know if she slept at all in 4 days, to be honest with you. But she just worked her butt off. And one of those videos you'll see shows me standing on top of this thing. This is the new Mesa facade from ProX. It says it holds 150 pounds. I will tell you that I weigh more than 150 pounds, and I was standing on it, and I didn't feel in any real danger of going through it. And unlike a DJ case, I was standing with my feet together. I didn't have my weight distributed. So if you happen to have a DJ controller that weighs more than 150 pounds, your bigger problem is getting it on top of the facade, but the facade will hold it. So, but it's rated to hold 150. That's the safe answer I got to give you. Fully extended, it's 57 inches wide by 52 inches high, has a depth of about 27 and a half. You have a table space that's usable of 51 wide by 25 deep. And that is at a height of about 35 inches. So just about, right for, countertop height where you'd want to use it. Folded up, the thing is only 5 inches deep. Comes with both black and white scrim and carry bags for everything. And we had Gabriel set it up in the booth. And we timed him, and he didn't really know we were going to do that to him. And he got a little nervous. So I think he still did it in like a minute and 15 seconds or some minute and 30. I don't remember. You'll have to watch the video and see, but it was incredibly fast. And he was nervous. So if you were in a hurry, you could probably shave it down to a minute maybe, but maybe you'd want to just take your time, take a little care of the stuff and go at a leisurely 2 minutes.
See, and that I think what happens is, because I've done that to Gabriel too, is where we're shooting, and he's learned that when he's doing something in front of my camera that I'm shooting and I'm talking about it, and he's going to be on film.
Yes.
And now I think he's finally come to the realization that that's going to happen. And I think he's, wait, I'm going to be on someone's video here. And then he gets a little bit, okay.
Well, and he was really nervous. I think I shouldn't say he was really nervous. I just got the sense that we rattled him a little bit. It was kind of fun. But when he found out it was live, it was a live video. Like, hey, we're doing this live. If you and you're racing. So anyway,
yeah.
I enjoyed that.
But yeah, that's a very, very cool looking facade for sure.
So I have a couple items on here that some DJs may feel don't apply to them, but as you know, I work with quite literally thousands of DJs, and I think this does apply. In fact, I had no less than 10 DJs, probably closer to 10 or 11, message me about this very item. And I did keep it on here because I think it is something that addresses very specifically the use of at ceremonies and also some light production use, some small production use, which of course many DJs are into. It is the newest member of the UI family. It is the new Soundcraft Ui24R, and it is like the previous UIs, and it is not like the previous UIs. It is a bad mamma jamma, and it's priced quite a bit more than the previous generations. But this thing is a bad dude. Has dual band Wi-Fi, so you don't need a router. You can have up to 10 devices connected to it at once. So maybe you could have people, doing their own monitor bus on this thing, for example. So you don't have to mess with mixing monitors, have them do it.
Sure.
Check this out. You can control it from iOS, Android, Windows, Mac OS, and Linux by using just a web browser. You don't need to download or install any app. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. You can record and mix. It's got Studer preamps. Of course, Studer's famous for their studio products, and that they're part of the Harman family. More Harman brands built in here. You've got DBX compression, Lexicon reverb, delay, and some other Lexicon processing. And you also have Digitech guitar amp modeling. So again, the fact that these are all part of that Harman conglomeration, they were able to put all those things in there. Dual path redundant multi-track of all 24 inputs to the USB drive and or connected PC. As I mentioned, 24 inputs. I think I mentioned this, 24 input. Each one has 4-band parametric EQ, high-pass compressor, de-esser, noise gate, and all that on the input channels. You've got 31-band graphic, noise gate compressor, and automatic feedback suppression on all outputs. So it's pretty, very robust feature, little input. And you also have an RTA, which is an analyzer on all inputs and all outputs. A very well-featured, compact little mixer in, I think it was only 4 rack spaces, anyway.
4 rack spaces as far as we're looking at the picture. And so how deep is it? That was a question.
About this deep, give or take. No, it's not quite that deep. About this deep.
Okay.
Not very deep. It would comfortably fit in a in a fly rack or a gig bag. I don't have the dimensions handy. I didn't write those down. I'm sorry. But comfortably put it in a little rack bag or something, and off you go.
Cool.
Yeah, like I said, no less than 10 or 11 DJs messaged me and said, hey, I'm interested. Street price looks like it's going to be about $9.99, and that didn't really seem to deter anybody.
No, that's
and of course, yeah, I mean, it's a value right there. But of course, Katie or myself or my coworkers at NLFX will take extra special care of you. Just mention this video and remind me that I said that.
Okay, what do we have next here?
Next, we've got the Rock and Roller R14G. And I think I got you a picture that's got, it wasn't a picture I took at the show.
Yep, a couple of canned pictures here.
Yeah, it had such a crowd, I could never get a picture. And again, limited time. There's one picture that kind of shows all the different configurations around the central car.
That's what's up right now.
Awesome. Well, if you have a rock and roller, then I don't need to say anything to you. You already know, except this one adds some cool things, makes it even a little bit better. This is the Groove Glide. No, excuse me, Ground Glide. Groove Glide is an Odyssey trademark. Sorry about that, guys at Odyssey. Don't worry, we got an Odyssey thing on the list, though. So, live television.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
It is the Mega Ground Glider. And it's like other rock and rollers, has a steel tube frame. This one goes from 42 to 60 inches. And of course, the handles collapse down, make it very compact. It's 15-inch wide bed. This one has the same 8.3 R-Track no flat rear wheels. But what's new about this one, or one of the new things about this one over the regular R14, is those ground glider monster truck tires, I call them, the R-Track 6x3, no flat swivel casters, and they have a brake. This thing rolls over rough terrain like a battle tank. It's awesome. And it holds 700 pounds. And my friends at the Midwest DJ show and my friends at the ARM DJ show both recall some famous incidents in the past where we decided to test the load capacity of a rock and roller, sometimes fatally to the cart, but it always exceeded by far whatever it said. I think at one show we had nearly 1,400 pounds on the cart. Human weight.
Yes.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, so when this thing says 700 pounds, I'm sure that's not a problem. And the cart itself only weighs 36 pounds. Again, it's made out of 16 gauge steel tube. So anyway, get you one.
Yeah, good stuff. If you don't have a cart, definitely something to check out.
Even if you have a cart and you need another cart, or you don't need another cart, just buy another cart. No, don't do that. Yeah, like I said, particularly for outdoor stuff, rough terrain, those monster truck tires. Sidebar, by the way, if you have an existing rock and roller and you want to upgrade your casters, we do sell those casters you can put on the front of your cart. Most carts we have them available for now. Upgrade casters to give you those wide R-Track tires on the front as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Where are we at next?
Next, we're going to take a look at the Buddha belly.
The Buddha.
The Blizzard Buddha. Now, they told me this is an acronym, and they actually explained what the BUDDHA stood for. And I didn't write it down. So
you couldn't have made something up. So it stands for the incredibleness
Blizzard Universal Digital Handheld Appliance. I don't know, something.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
I'm in the neighborhood there. I'm in the ballpark.
Universal Digital Doohickey.
That was it. It was Doohickey. Had
Awesomeness.
to be. I'll talk to Joel about that. So this little thing here is, and I have two really awesome ones that we've talked about in the show in the past. I have my Swiss on, and then I have the Chauvet RDM to go, which I absolutely love. But this thing is just next level to both of those. It has RDM on board. It'll test your cables. It'll test MIDI. It has RJ45, so you can test ArtNet. You can send and receive ArtNet on it. You have a channel tracer. You have a timing analyzer for DMX timing, DMX signal flicker finder. Earlier we talked about the E50Z and the pulse width modulation rate for that. This will find what your PWM rate is, and you can then figure out how to get the flicker out of your video by maybe adjusting your camera rate if possible, or something. Of course, you can record and playback sequences. So it's basically like a little handheld lighting controller. Whether DMX or ArtNet, has a micro SD card slot, and it comes with an 8 gig micro SD card. Also comes with a really nice little carrying case and a couple of 3 to 5 pin DMX adapters, a stylus, USB to micro USB cable with an AC adapter. It'll run off that AC adapter or a 9-volt battery you can put in. Battery is not included. It is just about the most awesome little DMX ArtNet RDM tester you can fit into 342 grams, which for those who don't speak grams, it's about 0.75 pounds. You're welcome. Blizzard apparently just measures things in grams.
Well, yeah, that's what cool guys do.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I've got the dimensions in millimeters too, but it's about 2.5 by 4.5 inches. So that's the Buddha. Moving on.
Cool.
I do have to get me one. It's funny. You can't have too many DMX testers. I like I said, I have a couple, and I feel like I need to get this too. I think I might have a problem.
I was waiting for you. I was wondering how long it was going to take before you really. I don't think at any point in time you mentioned it was a DMX tester.
Oh, didn't I?
No, I was waiting for you. It's like I'm going to let this go for a little while.
I said everything. I said RD. Well,
yeah, you were talking about all these different things, and it's
okay, all right. But in fairness, RDM and ArtNet are DMX.
I know, but there's, for the people who aren't into the DMX world and haven't listened to the show.
So if you control lights with DMX RDM, or ArtNet, this box is for you.
Because it'll tell you everything that's coming across the wires that you didn't know existed.
Yeah, to me that's fascinating. The physical layer, of DMX, the least understood part of it. And as we get more and more spoiled with software that does all the heavy lifting for us, we get further removed from understanding the ones and zeros that are traveling. And then we have problems. We have to have something that helps us figure that out. So did we have a funny comment?
We did. Mark Sound mentioned, my uncle in jail used to speak in grams.
Well,
yeah.
he probably knows
what he did there.
He probably knows that 342 grams is about 0.75 pounds. I bet he's got that conversion just right now, right?
Yeah.
I need another piece of paper to throw.
But wait, we have more gear.
We do. It's not often that a road case becomes a top 10 item at NAMM.
I was kind of thinking that too, but.
Well, let me tell you, road cases often don't get the love they deserve. They get slammed around in the truck. They get pushed in a corner. They just don't get any love. They never get their time to really shine on stage. If they do, they're just a prop holding up something else. But they're so essential. Yeah. As we buy these expensive pieces of gear and we transport them around the world. Or even just around the county. It doesn't matter. When we're moving this gear around, when we pull the gear out, we want it to look nice and function correctly. The road case's job is basically to just take a beating. They get all smacked up and ugly looking, to protect the gear inside. And when you have a light that is as cool as the Focus Spot 3Z, you need a case that is up to the task to protect it. So that's what I got next on my list. It is the the ADJ QRC FS3Z, which stands for, I believe, cleverly enough, Quad Road Case Focus Spot 3Z, because it holds 4 Focus Spots 3Zs. Also holds the VisiBeam RX1. And you've got a little compartment on the side that'll hold clamps, accessories, power cords, and that sort of thing. Top loading. You've got it's on a thick 3/4 inch plywood base, a couple inches of foam, has some really high impact 300-pound casters. They don't weigh 300 pounds. They'll just handle 300 pounds. Spring-loaded latches, spring-loaded handles, high impact corners, stacking cups. And a lot of people always want to know the dimensions of road cases. So I got those for you here. It's 37 by 21 with a vertical height of just under 29. So not much you can say about a road case, except it makes the light that much better because you can stick 4 lights in there and reliably transport them all over the place. And I needed to show some love to some road cases.
Exactly. And they're such a critical part. And when you don't have them, you probably don't realize that how much you should. And once you have them and realize all the gear and damage you've done over the years, it makes you feel like kind of a fool. But that's...
it's one of those things. You don't realize how much you need it until you do, and then it's too late.
Yeah.
LCD cases are a really good example of that. People who buy LCD or LED flat panel displays, they say, well, the road case is more than the display. That's true, and you'll get 1 gig out of that display if you don't have it in a good case. Now, maybe some of you transport your own gear, say, well, I'm careful. Well, good. But in my world, an LED would not make it out the loading dock without a case. So anyway, I hope is not a plan. Hope is not a plan.
Wasn't she a gal on Days of Our Lives back in the 80s?
Do I look like a guy that watches soap operas?
Back in the 80s.
Do I look like a guy that watches soap operas?
Back in the... Okay, fine.
Do I look like a guy who did watch soap operas? I watch space operas. I mean,
space operas.
You know, Star Wars really is kind of like a giant soap opera. I mean, really, it is one family wrecking the galaxy and saving it all at the same time.
At the same time. It was a great
It is one family. Well, it depends on who Ray is.
That's all time. About that.
Depends on who Ray is. Could be two families.
All coming together in this weird conglomeration. Okay, what do we have next?
I did watch Rogue One again while I was out in California. So, you know, what do you do when you go to sunny California? I go watch Star Wars. What do you do? I don't know. Next, I really like this because we're seeing more and more of this, again, with DJ and small production, compact line array style modules. And this is a true line array. Again, it takes enough boxes to make it work like a line array. That's just physics, okay? Got a whole show on that. You can watch that. Should watch that. Watch it twice, just for good measure. This is the new RCF HDL 6. It's a 1400 watt two-way box. I believe it's 400 on the top, 1000 on the bottom. 131 dB max SPL. You've got a 1.7 inch voice coil neodymium driver. You've got two high power neodymium 6.5 inch woofers, and endyme is a big deal. I mean, neodymium magnets are stronger. You're just going to get more bang for your buck there. It's got 48K 32-bit DSP processing. Again, I really do think we should do that show sometime on, bit depth and all that. But anyway, frequency response, 65 hertz to 20K. And you've got 100-degree horizontal, 10-degree vertical, and a very capable little line array box here. So the fly bracket also acts as the pole mount. So you could take 2 or 3 of these and mount them on a pole. Or as you can see in one of the pictures I've got there, you can see the array hanging next to the HDL 20A. So the 6 in the foreground, the 20A right next to it in the midground there.
There we go. I'll go back to that one.
Yeah, so just gives you a sense of scale against like the 20A. This little HDL6 might be just what the doctor ordered. If you're looking for a small line array, you're looking for adjustable angles. We talked a little bit, I think a show or two ago, we talked about, hot spots and cold spots on the dance floor and just having control over your pattern. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Ready for the next thing?
We are. I'm just getting ready to click.
All right. Hopefully you're going to click on the Odyssey Halo.
I will.
Okay. From our friends at Odyssey, this is brand new and patent pending in the U.S. and other countries because it is so darn cool.
It is. It was
new
very neat.
Halo, which mounts on top of any standard 1 3/8 tube, but it is adjustable height. So you can see the wheels there in the picture, but those wheels actually will tip down. Just the design possibilities are endless, mind-numbing, really. Comes in both white or black. It's a 30-inch diameter, by the way. And if you are going to Mobile Beat, you can come see it in our booth because we will have it there.
Awesome.
Come get you one.
Will you have it in white or in black? Or in
Probably both. That is above my pay grade. Probably both.
Okay, let me set that up. Stop. Okay. Sorry, I've got a video that if we have a few minutes, we'll talk about that too.
Oh, okay. Is it the one me standing on the facade?
No. Oh, that would be a good video too. No, that was actually the wheel was a very cool addition. And if you can't see from the pictures, but to the right of the pipe is a little kind of a jawed component that you can loosen that up and tip it and crank it tight again, and it will lock in, and you're not going to have it strip, which was a very, very cool component with that.
Yeah, it's not just a friction, tightener. So it will hold the weight of your lights and things. I don't have the official capacities of it in front of me, but I see that as opening up some very real possibilities. And I contemplated the pure magic of taking that with the K&M stand, both available, of course, from NLFX. And I thought, hey, now.
Could be an interesting configuration.
You could do some really fun things with that.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Awesome.
I'm down to my last official item.
Yes.
And it's sort of a twofer. It's 2-in-1 because there's two configurations.
Gotcha.
Many DJs do own the earlier generations of this. This company took an early lead in digital mixing boards, and then frankly, they got a little bit complacent. They got leapfrogged by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They've released an answer that really comes out with some great new features. It is the new StudioLive series from PreSonus. They have the new StudioLive 16 and StudioLive 32. In about a month, I'll be down in Baton Rouge at their headquarters, going through the software and stuff on these boards. But already early releases look really, really good. So 32 channels. It's got some of their X-Max Class A preamps. You've got all kinds of cool, fun features, including.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, I know. Words is hard. 28 buses. So you've got 16 flex mixes, which can be an aux subgroup or matrix. And you've got 4 subgroups, dual AB fat channel, which is their proprietary term for dynamics, EQ, gate, compression, whatever, all your DSP basically for each channel. You've got AB, so you can change that. Maybe assign one channel strip to a guitar player. And when he switches guitars, you can toggle back and forth between A or B or something. You've got built-in effects buses, can up to 4 effects. 6-band parametric on your outputs, 8 graphics, 8 mute groups. You can save, copy, and recall your scenes, and there are scene safes, which we talked about a little bit too in the last show, I think I remember. Mm-hmm. 24 DCA groups. And where it really excels, of course, PreSonus coming kind of from the recording world, multi-track digital I/O for connection to your DAW, but it also has a built-in multi-track recorder. Just pop in an SD card, and of course, you can also use the AVB protocol to connect to external devices as well. So. Both the 16 and the 32 channel, again, a lot of DJs doing light production and that sort of thing. I could see this being a very powerful tool for, maybe a ceremony use or whatever. You could very comfortably have the tools necessary to EQ officiants' lavs and properly process musical instruments and vocalists and that sort of thing, and record all that in multi-track. Take it back, and you could then do a little mix down, touch it up a little bit, and sell that, a professionally mixed product, maybe to go with the video. Maybe you could sell it to work in partnership with the videographer, maybe sell it to the videographer, or to the bride directly. I don't know. That's your deal to figure out how you make money with it. But to me, I just think it's fantastic to be able to have that multi-track recording. So, which of course this and the Soundcraft we talked about both will do.
Yeah. This
will do it built in.
Cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Plus it's not very expensive either. I mean, it was in the 2s for the 32, I think. So, I mean,
for the capability and such, that's really impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
It has come a long way.
So I've got a couple of honorable mentions, but I'm going to put you on the spot. What did you see?
Well, I had one thing I wanted to share here that was kind of cool, and that was from Chauvet DJ. Many cool things, but I'm kind of a guy who likes retro type effects, and I want to.
Which is a nice way of saying you're old.
I am old. That's right. So what we're looking at here, I want to get this exactly right. This is the Rotosphere Q3. Basically, what makes this unique is that it has 3 distinct quadrants. So you've got your top, middle, and bottom, and you can change color. And having 3 different colors, you can have it so only one quadrant is lit up at a time. So you have the ability with this to only say, if you would have it hanging from the ceiling, you could have it so it's only the upper half of the ball doing the ceiling, and you don't have the dots on the floor. So from a guest perspective, if they were back a little ways, they would see the dots going around the upper half of the room, and yet I wouldn't have lights on the bride and groom during their first dance. So we still have the mirror ball effect around the room, but not on them. And
That is cool.
That was very, very cool, because there's times where having that ability would be neat to have. So it was color changing, speed, rotation, full DMX control, all the good stuff. But the 3 zones made the Rotosphere Q3 something that definitely wouldn't have been on my radar beyond, it's another mirror ball type effect. Yeah, that 3 zone thing was very, very, very cool.
Attaboy. Kudos to you. Anything else you saw?
That was probably the biggest one I wanted to share here, and we're almost out of time too.
Okay, well then I know which booth you didn't go to. So here's my honorable mentions. And this isn't the one you missed. We'll get to that. The cable clips from Gravity, which we just inked a deal, and it was timely enough because all of a sudden on Facebook, people are discovering this and saying, wow, where did these come from? Well, soon enough, you'll be able to get them from us. We may be...
Is that the picture that I have here, Ben?
I can't see the picture. I'm sorry.
It's a speaker pole with a little gray.
Yes, and all we're talking about here is the little gray clip, just a really simple clip-on cable pass-through to help clean up your cables going up your stand poles, light poles. We may be the first distributor in the U.S. I don't know, but we're certainly in the hunt to be one of the first. So they're only going to be, I think, a couple bucks. We're still working on, the conversion from European currency and whatever. But very soon enough, we should have a few hundred of those in our warehouse, and I think they'll be something you'll make good use of. So
cool. I missed that one.
And I'm saving the best for last here. I'm saving the best for last. Not the best for me, but the best for you. The best for me was this from the Digico booth, the SD12.
SD12. Do I have that?
I may have taken it out of your. I may have taken it out because I knew you wouldn't let me show it.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, is it in there?
Yeah.
Did I leave it in there?
Holy cats.
I love that thing.
Oh my gosh.
It has a few less inputs and outputs than the Digico boards that I own, but man, this thing is great. One of the really cool things about it, you have 2 screens over each bank of faders, which can be operated completely independently. So you could have, for example, in corporate use, you could have one guy, still running the corporate mics, another guy getting a band set up. You can have 2 operators running completely simultaneously. They added some features that my Digicos don't have, like color backlit encoders that change depending on what that encoder is doing at the time. And of course, one of the great things is the tremendous flexibility of the Digico system. So I saw that, and again, this is my wife's first NAMM, mind you, and it was great. I got to do the same thing that so many of you do, and I see you do it at Mobile Beat or whatever. I got to look over at my wife like,
please,
can I have it? Anyway, I think it'll be probably not, since I just got another Digico not that long ago. But anyway, and I don't really need it. I understand how you all feel. I do understand your pain. I've got great boards right now. I don't need this at all. It's just,
it was awesome, man.
So cool.
Oh. I tell you, of the videos I watched from the Katie shot, the one that I thought was one of the coolest was from Omni System. Now, granted, I didn't get to see all of them, but the one with that I-beam trussing.
Oh yes, and me doing pull-ups.
And you doing pull-ups. I'm not sure what was more impressive, the I-beam trussing,
or the fact that I can still do a pull-up.
Doing a pull-up.
You didn't see the ladder underneath that I climbed up and down.
We didn't see the outtake video.
Yeah, no, it was a real pull-up. I actually did it. I couldn't believe I did it either. I just got to move on from the SD12 in my mind. I'm still stuck on it.
Yeah, that's why we're changing the topic. Otherwise, you'll be distracted for the rest of the show.
I appreciate that, John. You know me so well.
Good stuff. NAMM was a successful show this year. Lots of great stuff.
There's one more thing.
Oh, you still have one more. I don't have any pictures.
Well, no. This is not something new that I saw at NAMM, but you mentioned this is something great for you. It involved dinner with our EV rep, a couple martinis. Katie has negotiated, without a doubt, the best NAMM deal ever, the best deal ever that I have ever seen on ETX, period, bar none. And so listen to me carefully when I say this, because I know that some of you maybe won't believe me. I really, honestly, don't think you will see a deal this good again. Certainly you won't see one better. I'll just put my name on that. This is really the best deal on ETX I have ever seen. And I realize that means I'm probably hurting our own Mobile Beat sales, since we're exhibiting Mobile Beat with Electro Voice. But if you can do it right now, this is the absolute time to buy some ETX. The deal expires firmly, no exceptions. Don't care. It's above our control. It's out of our hands. Believe me when I say, and I'm serious, the deal expires January 31st, 2017, period.
Awesome.
So that is a very cool thing from NAMM. I saw Katie's prowess. I saw her dedication to the customer. She just worked so hard. She worked her butt off. She cares so much about those DJs. Now, I a little more of this came to light. I know we're running out of time, but Katie's husband is a working DJ. And I think I saw that come through at NAMM, that she was really thinking of him, and she was, having watched him walk that walk, that she really, I think, extends that to her customers. So I really saw her go to work for our DJs. It was just fantastic to see how much she cares about the DJs out there and how hard she's working for them. So
very cool. I'm excited. I for those of you who know, I do have the EKX, but I was talking to Ben. I'm going to pick up a pair of ETX because there's just some things that the ETX can do.
Oh, it's phenomenal. 18 millimeter birch, and that FIR processing, and by the way, friends in TV land, I know you'll find this hard to believe too, but John will pay the same price you will. This deal is just that good. It doesn't really matter who you are.
Yep.
It just doesn't get any better. And like I said, I really don't think it'll ever get better again. I will put that out there on permanent record here.
Cool stuff. You guys can go to the NLFXpro.com website, get the phone number, give Katie a call, find her on Facebook.
Yep, Katie Lynn Sabak.
And she will get you hooked up.
Watch her NAMM videos. Some of them are really entertaining.
Yeah, there's this guy doing
pull-ups.
It's awesome, man. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Ben, thank you much for your effort and time and putting everything together for us tonight. There's some good stuff from NAMM.
I want to throw one more piece of paper.
Oh. Ooh, that was a nice throw.
Yeah, and
wow, that's a twofer.
I've been practicing in my mind.
Visualizing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We'll be back with Brian right here in just a few minutes.